Okay, you know who J. Patrick Morgan, the Wise Band Say dude. And this is the first clip for On the Run in Intermission Report number 4. The subject matter for number 4 is going to be God's will, which is a complicated thing. And because, as most of us know, God is all-knowing. He knows all things, and we're people. Science says that we typically, as people, only use 10% of our brain, and there's probably lots of reasons for that we don't know about. That's in God's will. That's a quick example right there. I'm in the city park, and it's a little busy today. I think they got something like homecoming going on, and Eunice is going to be a pretty active weekend, and a lot going on in Eunice today, from what I'm hearing. And so I'm going to get the funny looks because I'm making a video in a public place in the city park and blah blah blah, and the subject matter and the whole works, but it is what it is. So I've been talking to some local businesses, and I'm going to do some tons of local business shout outs right here in Eunice before I get on the road in a couple months. I'm hopefully December, so less than 2 months, but it might be January. Just depends on how fast things get rolling. Okay, so this will be the first clip. They're usually somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. We'll discuss a little bit of where this is going. When I put this up, a few people that like what I was doing are going to be a little disappointed, but I'll still there'll still be plenty of entertainment in this. There's a whole bunch of things I got to do different for all the right reasons. I'm still going to play music. I'm still going to do comedy skits. I'm going to get other people involved in these skits and the music just for the fun of it, because I'm not rich and I can't pay people. It's just how it is. And I'm still going to do all that. For one thing, it's got to be more family friendly than it has been. The morning shows with the smut comedy and the derogatory language, those are all going away. And what's coming up is more family friendly. Not to say a cuss word won't slip now and again, because it's all on the fly, and I could drop something on my foot and out comes a cuss word. So I'm human like everybody else, but we're gonna they're really pushing for it, and I'm going along with it, and it's going to be more family friendly, and the morning show format is going away. You're going to get a few more of those leading up to when I go on the road, but just to keep it relevant, because I'm not ready to go on the road and do the new thing quite yet. I've got to spend some money. I've got to do some planning and outlining things and like that. So, but yeah, Grumpy Monday morning show, Friday morning precursor. Wise Band Say Saturday night, that wasn't that bad. That was more focused on music and band quotes and talking about different bands and band dedications and stuff. And there was some comedy, and sometimes it was filthy and sometimes it wasn't. But I still don't think that Saturday night Wise Band Say is going to be the same as it was when I started it in Texas. I got to do things differently. I'm waking up to the ways that I really have to do things differently, and it's necessary. And so the bikers and sailors that loved my George Carlin side, my early Eddie Murphy, you know, the filthiness and stuff like that, it's going away, slow but surely. And when I go on the road, it's going to be more family friendly, but it's definitely going to still be relevant and interesting, and promoting a lot of the same things as far as what we're doing in society. Yeah. So as I've kind of hinted in previous videos, what we're doing is with this scooter. It's not made for that, so I'm doing a lot of upgrades. If you buy the scooter as is, it's a Metro. It's meant for shorter in-town commutes. It really has a max range per battery charge of around 10 miles. And sometimes less, because I have a trailer that I haul behind it, and if I put lots of weight on it, it's going to go less than 10 miles on a charge. To do what I'm doing, going from town to town, to be upgraded, two actually upgraded battery sets that take you 3 times the distance per a full charge, you know, to get from town to town, and not have to knock on somebody's door and say, hey, can I plug up at your house for a couple hours? You know, I'm a stranger, so a lot of people aren't going to like that. And so, yeah, upgraded battery sets, a larger trailer, because I'm going to be pulling a tent and a canopy and a grill, a propane tank, and some batteries to run solar for the camping, so I have some lights, maybe some fans, and some other things along with that, and an extra charging system outside of solar for being in areas where it's constant cloudiness, you know. And you're gonna, and through all of that, you're going to learn about the technology and everything, in case you're interested in being off-grid and spending less money on electric and oil products and so on and so forth. And like I said, it's going to be a lot more family friendly, so that you're more likely to the whole family to watch, or allow your kids to watch, or not have to wait till they go to bed to watch, and those kind of things as well. Okay, so yeah, God's will is the subject for intermission report number 4. And as I mentioned, it's complicated, because our brains is only going to hold so much knowledge, and people that have tried to push that to the limits, you know, they get away with it for a while, but you put too much knowledge into a human brain, it gets disorganized. And all this stuff that you're learning gets real scattered and stuff, and really the people that are obsessed with it, like I was, and I can, you know, tell you this from experience, you'll drive yourself insane. You got to take it in segments, and when you're doing something different, you got to take some of the stuff that you learned, whether it was from college or somewhere else, and put it, you know, on the side burner to focus on new stuff you're learning. And it becomes so scattered, it'll drive you insane. Einstein is a good example. Super smart, genius person with a lot of stuff and a lot of things that we learned that helped with new technology and new thinking and stuff like that. But even with his genius brain, towards the end of his life, he was a pretty insane sort of person. Another person, Tesla, it wasn't really his fault. A lot of people that were more merchant and make big dollars. Just took his stuff and did with and made it a corporate thing, a money maker thing, when he felt that a lot of this stuff in his ideas was stuff that people should just have without paying for it. Have it for free. Everybody should have it. It makes everybody's life easier, and it should just be a free part of everybody's life. And through Thomas Edison, a few other entities and some corporations and stuff like that. Well, this is great stuff, but we can make money with it, And so Tesla had a lot of, mental disturbance in his later years too, and it was forced on him by these people that wanted to take his ideas. So in talking about God's will, most of it we'll never be able to wrap our heads around it, because he just knows way more than we do, and that's just how it is. But there's ways that you can take parts of that, and knowledge that you can get for parts of that will help you, at least in your own life, understand what his will is for you or the people around you. And okay, we're at 11 minutes here. I try to keep these under 20 minutes. So that's what the subject is going to be about, and I'm real sorry for the bad news of the announcement of where these videos and the internet shows have to go to. It just has to be done, and I'm not going to change it. It's not really up to me anyways. That's how we're doing it. Overtime from now on. You'll get a few more of the morning shows going into the next month or so, but then it's turning into the traveling road show, and I'll be doing it from town to town. It's been determined so that I can eventually get back to visit my family. When I get started, I'll be heading east towards Georgia in the middle of winter, and I'm not heading very far north, because common sense says if you're in a camping situation, a permanent camping situation, you need to stay south for the winter. Especially, they said it's going to be a harsh winter for northerners this year anyways. And yeah, now that I'm talking about taking, because I got to wait for all these winter storms to be definitely passed before I go to New York to see my family, taking a detour to see a friend in Florida too. And I've talked with her about it, and I'm going to help her with a few things around her property that she's had a hard time getting done while I'm there, and that'll probably be sometime mid-February by the time I get there. So that's where all of that is going. And I can tell you for sure that what I'm doing with it is God's will. I'd rather settle down and just start another produce farm here outside of here, or some small town area, and just be in one place. But it's the last ditch. Be a migratory person without a steady home kind of thing that I'm going to be doing for probably a year and a half before I'm done with it. And like I said, I'd rather just settle somewhere, live like a hermit, grow produce and sell it in town, and do kind of what I did when I lived on my parents' farm in a little shack, and kind of go back to that. But apparently that's not what that's not what's going to happen for now. And different people have their different opinions about it, but their opinions are only go so far. Because there's a lot of things that y'all don't understand about it anyways, and I'm not going to get into that part till probably another video or another show. So yeah, coming from the downtown Eunice Public Park here. I'm going to do another on-the-run clip somewhere else. I'm not even sure yet where. And there'll be a couple clips for right from home too. And so you got the subject matter of this intermission report, and you got the news of where it's going and what's not going to be happening anymore with my promotional and public awareness videos. And so I'm at 15 minutes. I don't have to go the whole 20, so I'm killing it. And in a few seconds, I'll be coming back, standing somewhere else, and continuing with the God's will discussion. Killing it. Okay, this is a little bit quicker clip, just a couple minutes if I don't ramble too much. Again, intermission report number 4 is about God's will, which is, it's a touchy subject. Different people under different denominations are taught different things, and it's hard for them to switch sometimes. We get set in the ways of what we were taught by our parents, by our churches, by the schools, whatever. God's will is not simple. He knows way more than we do, and most of us know that. The secret societies think that they know as much as God, but they don't either. Just out of God's will, I was doing my running around on this Saturday, and the Holy Spirit compelled me to go ahead and do a shout out for this particular local church. It's called New Hope. Unischurch.com, I believe, is the internet link for them. They do a lot of things for the community and beyond this community. They have a good kind of humanitarian program going on. They have lots of Bible studies that you can participate in. I have to thank my friend Tracy Simone, that I even knew this church was here. She was bringing me to this church. I was riding along with her while I was still living in Mamu, the next town over to the north. I was impressed. Really, the pastor, keeps things relevant to what's going on today. It's a full gospel church. It's not a kind of church. They have, this is a bigger church, so they have more people to choose from, where they have instrument players and stuff. For music, they don't do the traditional hymn thing that I was used to growing up, and a lot of churches are doing that now. That the music it's still of God, but it's more modernized, and they have a band instead of a choir in the congregation with hymnals and stuff. And they have an internet thing. Their sermons go on the internet as well, at least some. But, being in Eunice and telling people about Eunice before we leave Eunice, this is not a tourist kind of area. They do have Chico Park. It's reasonably close by. People from out of state that are interested in going to see Chico Park, they'll highly likely be coming through Eunice to get there. So I'm focusing on shout-outs for local business, local churches, this and that for Eunice while I'm here. I'm only going to be here a couple months at best. 3 months at the most, I would say, because it could be January, but I want to get right onto the road show. I'm hoping it'll be December. It just depends on how well I can stay organized to put it all together and get all the things that I would need to get it done. So Unischurch.com, New Hope. full gospel church, and if you happen to be here and you're here on a Sunday or whatever, and you want to know what church to go to, I say this is one of the good ones in Eunice. One of the, they all have their good parts, but I was, and so here's the part that has to do with God's will. In my travels today, I don't even know. I didn't know I was coming to Eunice Church to do this. I didn't know I was really doing the last clip in the city park. The city park was pretty busy, so it was hard to talk to you. Distractions, kids playing, and this and that. It was busier than normal there in that park. But yeah, it's Saturday. I'm wandering around here, and I'm doing God's will. I don't know what God's telling me where to go. God said to come to New Hope and talk about New Hope for anybody that's visiting Eunice, and so that's why I'm here. It's on College Road. I don't know the specific address number. I never looked at that, but it's on College Road in Eunice. So you can look it up on your Google Maps and stuff to come find it if you happen to be staying in a hotel or a campsite or whatever in the Eunice area and you want to come to church. Yeah, definitely come here. I like the pastor. I like the people that are here. I've talked to a few of the people a few times that I came here instead of going to a different church. And God said to tell people about Eunice Church, so I'm telling people about Eunice Church, and I'm supposed to keep this clip short, so we'll be going on to another On the Run clip, and I'm killing it here. Alright, it's clip number 2 on the Run for Intermission Report number 4. This is, of course, J. Patrick Morgan, a wise man say, dude. I shouldn't have to say that on a second or third or fourth clip that's going to be clipped together, because I said it on the first clip, but I'm just in the habit of doing that when I start a video. Maybe I'm supposed to put this one first. It's as I had stated before, Intermission Report number 4 is about God's will. And most of the time we don't understand God's will, and that's why it's so hard to follow God's will. You don't like to do things that you totally don't understand. Understanding is a big motivation in whether you're going to decide to do something or not. In this case, I'm going to a different church I haven't gone to yet, Word Ministries, a different type of service. And why am I doing it? Because I was compelled to do it under God's will. In the past, there were certain things I did understand about God's will, and there's certain things I didn't understand about God's will, and then you end up doing things that are not God's will, just simply not that you're intending to, you just don't understand. It's like my stepfather told my youngest brother one time, he had made statements about, that rock music, it's screaming and it's noise and it's not music and stuff. And then later on, some classical music was playing, and so my little brother says, well, is that music? And he said, well, yeah, that's music. I just don't listen to it because I don't understand it. He understood country western music, and he didn't understand. In this case, it was opera, and it wasn't even in English language. He just said, I don't listen to it because I don't understand it. And that's the big factor in it. So I'm here a little bit early because I was supposed to do this quick video clip before I go to church. And there's a reason for all of it. I don't understand the reason totally, but I'm just doing it. I didn't used to do that. I used to say it a lot, but not practice it. And if you're going to say it, you might better practice it, or people aren't going to take you seriously when you say it. That's just how it is. And so right now I'm in the parking lot. I'm about to go in. And so, some people might, as if it's any of their business, out of curiosity, well, what are you doing? Why are you here? All kinds of questions like that. My answer today is I don't really know why I'm here. Maybe I'm supposed to meet a certain person, or I'm supposed to hear a certain few statements during the sermon. Maybe it's a specific song that's going to be sang that's going to wake me up to something. I don't know. And I was totally originally planning on going to either New Hope Church or First Apostolic Church, one of the ones I've already been to, where people are starting to get used to see me, but I'm here instead. And so let's see, we're at 4 minutes. I try to keep these kind of short. All right, so what's this thing about God's will? We don't understand it because God is all knowledgeable, and our brains only hold so much knowledge. If we try to put too much knowledge in them, we just end up being confused and insane. There's not just secular history that shows us that, with people like Einstein. I can use for an example. I think I already used him once, but I'm going to use him again. I think there was somebody actually like this, but they say it's just fiction, like Dr. Frankenstein, the Frankenstein monster. It's kind of obvious in the forefront. Why would it be God's will for somebody to be able to do a brain transplant? The brain works just fine in the person that it's in. The other brain works just fine. Chances are we know so little about the brain that if it works at all, once it's transplanted, it's not going to work the way it's supposed to. That's what happened with the Frankenstein monster. That God doesn't intend those things unintended that man does, thinking they're playing God, is called abominations. I touched base on that on Facebook post, if any of you were even paying attention. Those kind of things, it's obvious why that's not God's will. And other things, it's just so inobvious. He knows something that we don't know, and we're supposed to have faith that he knows what he's doing, and he's got us as long as we're doing his will and what he asked us to do. And all of those things are tough. It's really tough. I was miserable when my leg was shattered. I couldn't even get outside without help and stuff, and I'm more of an outdoor person anyways, and like that. Looking back, I know there's several reasons, even though it sounds cruel, and nobody should really have a shattered leg and be laid up like that and be in pain and so on. But there was things, it was God's will. There was things I needed to learn, and it wasn't just me. It's multifaceted, because God has all knowledge. It's multifaceted. It wasn't just things I needed to learn. It were things that other people around me that were going to deal with me while I had my broken leg, they needed to learn some things too. especially this one gal I haven't caught up with her. She never even has a phone to try to call her, and I don't live in that town anymore, and I don't get over there anymore. At this point, I will eventually get back to Mamu and see people and things. So I have no way of knowing how far she's progressed from it, but there was some things that she needed to learn. She had a bad addiction problem. A lot of that was largely a combination of that she was also learning disabled before she even took a single drug, and learning disabled people, other people take advantage of that and they'll manipulate them because they see they're not maybe as smart and they don't pick up on things, and it's sad. People take advantage of disabled people, whether it's a learning disability or the fact that they can't defend themselves when they want to steal something from you because they have a physical disability. That's something that people do. But I'm hoping that she's doing a lot better than she was back when she was helping clean my house, and I got faith that God's will is in there somewhere, and that she's going to come to God. She was going to church. She just wasn't quitting the drugs yet and stuff. She was going to church and seeking, but I don't think she knew how to stand up for herself and tell people that I don't want to be around the drugs because that means I'm going to go back to using the drugs. A lot of factors in it. I don't understand it. I think she's a good gal deep down, and God has things for her, and that it's non-affectant. She's gonna quit those drugs, and she's gonna do something great for God before she passes on, before God takes her home. I just have to have that kind of faith. And I was being told that, I don't understand, and I don't know everything about it, and I just have to leave that all up to God. So it's getting closer to time to go in for church, and so I'm going to kill the video here. I'm here under God's will. I could have gone to any church. God said go to this church this time. I didn't question it one bit. It's probably a lot of great people here. I'm going to come to church here. Even though I'm happy with New Hope where I went to church last, and I'm happy with First Apostolic where I went to church before that. I'm here for whatever reason, and for better or for worse, something I have to learn, something somebody might learn from me. Could be either or, a combination of both. So I'm killing it here at close to 11 minutes, and you'll be in a split second going on to clip number 3 of intermission report number 4. So keep trying to understand God's will. I don't understand, but there's certain things that I can help you understand because I finally did finally do understand. And don't worry about if you understand. That's why there's such an emphasis on faith. Just know that God knows what He's doing. That's what I've got to do. It's hard for me. It's very difficult. I'm not saying it's easy for me at all, and it's not going to be easy for you. Just understand that if you're following God, then God knows what He's doing. You don't know what He's doing. You have all kinds of questions, and you're tempted to question it totally, but God knows what He's doing. And so I'm here. See ya. And so, now I'm on the last segment of Understanding God's Will, Intermission Report number 4, as it's being categorized for video upload. And just so this is a conclusion and we're tying it all together. Most of us are just like um, Jonah and the whale, uh, in terms of understanding and following what God would have us do. It sounds crazy to us. God knows everything, and our knowledge is limited. So our typical response, even sometimes as some kind of preacher or church leader, um, tends to be, really, God, you want me to do that? Or why would you ask me to do that? Somebody else has those skills and talents more than me, or all this questioning God thing. Well, we saw what happened with Jonah. He was swallowed up by a whale, and all the whale vomit and stuff, and spit out where God wanted him to be, whether he liked it or not. And that's what happened, and that's what happens with us, especially on end times Watchmen and Women network, and the Aramaic Society. We're not really told or expected to be in church leadership per se. Anyways, most of us that are called, we're addressing people that are running away from God. They're mad at God, whether it's something that a priest or pastor did or a congregation did. We're addressing people that have been driven away from the church instead of drawn to it, for however it was done, for whatever reason. And it's more acceptable, even though we are trying to do better, and as we go, that parts of us has 1 foot in the world and 1 foot not in this world. It's not acceptable, but it's acceptable in the organization for what we're doing. I know with being a pastor or priest, you're to lead by example, and to show people that you're that you're putting into practice what you're preaching in the sermon or teaching in the Bible study class, and so on. And that's not in the policies of Aramaic Society or the Watchmen and Women network, the end times people that say, hey, look at this, it's time to get right with God, because this is what we're heading into. So that's like right now I'm still smoking cigarettes, for example. A pastor would be expected to go out of their way to give up cigarettes faster, because we know that's not something of God. And I'm working on it. I tend to get gripey at people and neurotic and stuff in the process of quitting, and I don't like to be like that towards people, and that's one of the things that's held me back from just quitting cold turkey, and it's an excuse or it's not an excuse, and it is what it is for the moment. But I promise sometime soon you'll see me not smoking cigarettes anymore. I'll get there, and God will help me get there. So, yeah, God's will sounds crazy to most people. To you, when you're the Holy Spirit's telling you are being called to do this, and to the people around you. And one of the things that was emphasized when I went back into this whole doing internet video things is, for me specifically, is I have to stop worrying about whether what I say and what I'm saying or what I'm doing looks or sounds crazy to other people. Everything that God asked you to do looks and sounds crazy to lots of other people, especially people that are atheist or pagan per se, or Buddhist or whatever they are. Um, it's always going to sound crazy to them anyways. People that are fully trying to follow in God, sometimes it's still going to sound crazy to them too. So you might as well forget about it, not worry about it, not worry about what other people are thinking, because it's, there's a greater, when you're called by God, it's for something greater. And our minds almost never really grasp that something greater until after we do it, and we don't. Sometimes we don't see the results for a couple years after we do it. But it doesn't sound right or look right to us until after we've done it and it's all over with, and we're moved on to something else. And so. Following God's will is very hard, as I had mentioned in earlier clips for this video, and for even previous intermission reports that are already uploaded. It's hard on me. I'm used to kind of planning out my day according to what makes sense to me, trying to, even though I'm disorganized, trying to put in some kind of organization and planning into what I'm doing and stuff. And a lot of times that gets messed up. Anyways, nothing really ever goes as planned for the most part. And something always mess up, not the whole thing all the time, but parts of it, and you just got to go with it, whatever's happening, whatever position or place God has put you in. And that's the most important about understanding and following God's will. It's hard on me because of what I'm used to, what's normal for me. I did kind of get used to just following God's will, and for a period of time, as many of you know me, know. And it was so hard that I had to stop, and because I stopped, I ended up under trials and all kinds of positions God placed me in, because, I had to learn, and I had to learn the hard way, and God was expecting me to go back into all of this, even though I, stepped away from it because it was so hard, and it's going to continue to be hard, and I'm expecting it. I'm praying about it, and that's all I can do. That's all anyone can do. A lot of things that, that really frustrate us, and cause us grief while we're going through it is simply because we're trying to control something that we can't control. God is in control, and we're trying to control it, and we can't control it because it's not us in control. And that's the biggest part of frustrations in anybody's life, that is trying to do better. So at just short of 10 minutes, I guess I'm going to conclude the video here. And this video might be uploaded tonight, but I'm really not expecting till tomorrow, because like I said, I get all kinds of upload problems, especially with Rumble, getting these videos on the internet, because this is a cheap phone and I'm not always in good signal area, and so on and so forth. And just a little tidbit for you, anybody else that's doing videos and getting them uploaded with important information that goes against the narrative out there now, McDonald's and Burger King both have put something in their Wi-Fi where it causes the security certificate to fail. So when you try to pull up Rumble at McDonald's or Burger King, you're just going to get a blank screen. You can't watch any videos that are already uploaded. You can't upload your video. You can't do none of it. And that's one of those corporate-owned things that are sticking 100% to the globalist television news narrative, you know. I'm surprised I haven't had trouble at Walmart. Sometimes I've uploaded videos at Walmart while I was there and had to shop and pick something up. I'm surprised that there's no failed security certificates at Walmart too, knowing about what their corporation is about and stuff. But it won't surprise me that sometime soon they start, especially as much as they're coming against everything that we try to put out there as the truth. So now I'm going on 12 minutes, and I said I was ending it, so I'm killing it. Everybody do what you need to do. Pray, get her done, no matter if it makes sense to you or not. I'll catch you later. Okay, as I had stated, I would say a little bit more about the electric scooter solar road show. So I'm going to step outside with y'all for this. This isn't part of Intermission Report number 4. I'm just attaching it to the end of it. It's like you know, something to give you a better idea of what's going on, because it's all confusing to some people and everything. But yeah, here's Scooter with rigged basket for the moment. There's going to be a better basket than that. I just haven't decided how I'm doing it yet. And okay, see this right here. I guess maybe you could see it if I line it up good enough. That's 250 watts worth of electric motor. That's about the same as a circular saw for those of you who do handyman work and stuff, you know. And so it pulls around me. I'm not that heavy. I'm about 135 pounds right now. And it's rated for somebody that weighs up to 315 pounds, according to the internet anyways, and or 200 and some odd pounds and maybe 80 pounds worth of groceries or whatever you're getting when you go somewhere. And so just like you can haul a camper with a little 4-cylinder hatchback if you put spring helpers in the back or something, but you have to do it at slower speeds, and you have to go routes where there's not a lot of hills and stuff like that, but you can safely do it without damaging the transmission or motor or anything about that little hatchback that's not really made to haul campers. You just have to be smart about it, and that's what I got to do with the scooter. It's going to be hauling a trailer that's made for 4-wheelers going through the woods. You know, you throw a bunch of firewood on the trailer, or you throw a deer that you killed on the trailer or something like that, that I'm picking up at Tractor Supply the first of next month. And that won't attach the way a bicycle trailer attaches to your side, the normal bicycle thing. It has a little thing, and then you have a pin like a lot of trailers do to attach it to the bicycle. It's not going to attach like that. It's going to attach to the rounded thing right here at the tail of the scooter rack, Um, and it will have some heavier things in it, mainly a tent and a pop-up canopy for if you know, coming across some rain while I'm traveling and stuff. And you know, I'm not going to be doing, unless it's just sprinkling out, I'm not going to be doing any traveling in wet, rainy weather to speak of. And and it'll have a small grill, not a heavy big one, a small grill, propane tank, uh, the type of sleeping bag that's good for below 20-degree weather, and all kinds of camping stuff like that. It'll have deep cell batteries going down the center. That's what the solar panels are charging. Sometimes I'll be plugging it in somewhere to charge it somewhere, getting a store owner's permission or somebody's permission to supplement, because you have rainy weather, cloudy days. The solars aren't charging quite as much as they could on a sunny day. And it's going to have, as suggested by a pretty intelligent dude that knows more in the lines of car electrical engineering and stuff like that, a alternator for a car, for, you know, more the standalone kind, from like what you would see in a 70s pickup truck or something like that. And that will be driven by one of the trailer wheels. That will supplement some of the charging power that you might miss if you have several cloudy days. And the solar panels will be on over top of the trailer, and charging deep cell batteries on the trailer for camping electric stuff. Like I'll need lights to see if I want to read the Bible or any other books while I'm in my tent after dark and not traveling. Maybe some fans. There'll be a ventless propane heater similar to the one that I had in the shack when I lived on the farm, the family farm. And since I'll have a propane tank all ready for the camp stove cooker and everything, I'll just be switching it over to that. Colder nights in the tent, I'll get, you know, tents don't hold a lot of heat, but I'll get some heat going while I'm awake and stuff. There'll be a wraparound tarp for the side panels of the pull-behind trailer, to try to keep things a little drier. And the dog is going into a special thing where she can see me and see everything going down the road, just like you're riding a dog in the car. It'll be totally safe. I've taken that all into consideration. The dog is going on the road with me. You know, she's going to be part of the video shows and everything. She's a cute and interesting dog, and it's good part of the video shows, and she's not in any danger. She'll always be fed. And so the dog is going to, all that will be on this trailer. It won't be super heavy, because, you know, tents usually, and newer tents anymore, don't weigh that much, and pop-up canopies really don't weigh that much. The fold-up or, you know, tabletop type grills, they don't weigh much. Propane tank and the deep cell batteries will probably be the heaviest things inside that trailer. But like I was saying, how you would have to haul a camper with a car that's not made to haul campers, but it can be done. I won't be max speeding this going down the road. It'll be more, it's got a max speed of about, probably, I think I had it up to about 24 miles an hour once. But I'm only going to be going roughly between 8 and 10 miles an hour, being careful on potholes, taking all the less busy state roads that have a good shoulder on them, where I can stay on the shoulder most of the time, If I can't stay on the shoulder, the trailer will have the slow-moving vehicle sign that you see most farm tractors have on the back of hay wagons and stuff, and that's all for being safe, but it's also for being legal, so they can't ticket me for being a traffic obstruction. I'll always get out of the way and flag people around me, just like drivers of farm tractors do when they're going between fields and stuff. And being respectful to people, getting out of their way, the first spot where I can get off the road, and all that. A lot of this stuff is being considered, and if it's not considered, there's always somebody on the internet, family, friends, or whatever. Well, what if this? Well, what if that? And then I'll just kind of jot those stuff down, so those what ifs will be considered too, if I haven't already considered them. And like I had been saying before, it's very well planned out. I'll have sponsorship for parts of it too, because I'm promoting electric scooters, electric bicycles, solar panels. All these stuff are products that these companies that make them want to sell, and some sponsorship will cover it, so not quite as much as out of my own pocket, but I figured it out on my disability check. I can easily live out of different campsites and camp areas and stuff like that, and travel like that. And people say, like, you're too old and you're disabled and this and that. That's crazy to do a permanent camping thing on the road like this. You're too old for all that. Well, fuck you for one thing. Lots of people that are old do lots of things that other people say you're too old for, and they do it every day. 90-year-old people jog 10 miles a day. If you don't believe me, check it out on the internet. There's lots of old people that do stuff. Well, but the other part is there's people my age, more handicapped than me, that live on the streets, that hitchhike from town to town, and they're in a bad way, and they're, and they don't have any choice. So what? And they're doing it, and they're surviving until they pass away, or they get off the streets, or whatever happens to them. And if they can do it, so can I. Yes, it'll hurt to get up from a mattress thing on the ground in a tent and stuff, because I'm old and I got arthritis. But so what? If I want to hurt for a minute getting up to get my coffee going, what's that? That's not your business. It's my business. Don't worry about me. Worry about you. So there's your update. Concerning the electric scooter solar road show. It's happening. Nobody's going to stop it from happening. And most of it, I got almost everything I need. I'm not really having to buy a lot of extra things to get it going as well. So, yeah, it's not that complicated. It's not that difficult to get going. And yes, I'm old and handicapped, but I'm not that old and I'm not that handicapped. And there you have it. Exactly what's going to go on. It's not going to happen for a couple months because there is a lot of preparing, but I will be either leaving out the first week of December or the first week of January, depending on how fast I can put the other parts of it together. So, ending the intermission report number 4 with what's going on with the videos in the future. The videos are still going up on the internet, and I'm still doing the video shows, and I'm doing this crazy thing that everybody thinks so is sane with the road show thing, and is what it is. And so J. Patrick Morgan, the wise man say dude, and that's the wrap for the whole intermission report number 4. Bye, y'all.